we would like to extend a welcome to His Holiness and request him to please join us on the stage. Ladies, if you could please escort His Holiness up. Your Holiness, welcome. Thank you. Please sit, thank you. On behalf of the Tibetan community, I welcome you to a very special afternoon that I'm sure will be remembered as a historic moment for each of us. Your Holiness, your gentle grace and aura has quite literally captured all of our hearts. Since your arrival, and on behalf of the people of Shillong and Meghalaya, allow me to extend our sincere appreciation for the blessings your visit brings to our corner of the world. Thank you. We are gathered here together as friends. All of us in the continuous search to live lives that benefit our fellow human beings. Some of us prompted by our undying faith in God, others in our lifelong commitment to perfecting ourselves and the world, all of us committed to fostering greater understanding between religions and beliefs. All of us want to contribute to peace and justice amongst all beings. Bless our communities and our deliberation as we seek to find a path that joins us all. Banish from our gathering any hint of selfishness or rigidity. Grant us insight, wisdom, and understanding. Create amongst us love, fellowship, and harmony so that our unity is reflected in the world today and for all time. Thank you. I invite each representative on the dais to accompany His Holiness together to the front of the stage, a united effort at lighting these timeless symbols of hope. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please place your candles on the tables, we shall let them aglow for the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
May I now request His Holiness to please come to the dais and enrich us with your pearls of wisdom.
Respected representative of different traditions, and then rest of the brothers and sisters. A short visit here, I really feel meaningful. The first day, I think the same hall, again, some kind of convocation, and had the opportunity to talk about religious harmony. Now this is the last engagement, now Interfaith Meeting. So this effort for religious harmony, that one of my commitment after I reach India. And firstly, 56 Buddha Jayanti celebration. I met a number of different religious, as the priests or leaders. And then, particularly after 59, number of religious leaders, like His Holiness Pope and the England Casa.
Church of Canterbury.
Church of Canterbury. Oh. And then many other sort of leaders. And then meantime, quite often in news, they say killing human brothers, sisters in the name of different faith. And some clever people also use name of religion. So then they can manipulate easily. So, various different religious faith. Also, you see, sometimes it's causing suffering. So then, if you look carefully, objectively, and all major religious tradition talks love. And in fact, every religious sort of tradition, when they describe God or Allah or any God, they always say the infinite love. So, and then also we notice among these different religious traditions, wonderful people who totally dedicated their life serving others. Wonderful. For example, Christian brothers, sisters, I think they really made greatest contribution regarding promotion of education and health in many different parts of the world. I noticed some Tibetan settlement, the quite remote area, and like Orissa and some other tribal area, tribal area. There are some Christian missionaries, sort of worker, some ladies, some nuns. Really, they sacrifice their own comfortable life to remain these poor area with poor people, serving the field of education and health. So really wonderful. I think we Buddhists lacking that kind of sort of service to people. So therefore, all these, like late Mother Teresa, really, not only herself, but also her follower. After he passed away, I had the opportunity to visit Calcutta, their center. Her follower, really dedicated, serving people, particularly poor people. All their sort of inner strength come from their faith. And also one time, I think Asian economy of Asia economy, it's a magazine, one correspondent of that. Once he told me, during Khomeini in Iran, on newspaper, media, some negative things is usually reported. But that reporter, that was the media person, who spent some time during that sort of critical period, he told me, in Tehran, mullahs is receiving some donation, some wealthier families, and then distributed to poorer section of people. He really very much impressed. He told me, in Iran, those Muslim genuine practitioners, they're really helping immensely. They are taking immensely about care or concern of poor people, poor section of the people. Then India, Of course, you see, there are, I think Mother Teresa, as I mentioned earlier, so various from different religious traditions, we can find wonderful people. Then another Christian, Thomas Merton, right? Thomas Merton. Me personally, I consider him as a sort of real introducer of value of Christianity. We spent, I think, 3-4 days, and each day, 2 hours like that, discuss, exchange. There are many similarities. There are monastic sort of life, monasticism, many similarities. One time, in southern France, one monastery there in mountain, they invited me. I had the opportunity to visit there. Oh, their life, very simple, simplicity. They devoted whole their life for prayer, like that. At that time, I told those monks there, oh, your practice and our practice, it seems come from same source. It's a big sort of distance, France, southern France, and we in Tibet. But there are similarities of practice, so it must be come from same source. I told them. Then this Thomas Merton, his daily life, very similar my daily life. I usually got up 3 in the morning. He got up 2 morning. 1 hour earlier. And then after night, I around 7, 8 go to sleep. He also like that. So then, you see, there are sort of similarities of our daily sort of life, right? Lifestyle, right? Like that, really. So then Martin Luther King, I think really courageous, fearless, and totally committed about basic right of every human being. So he fought for civil right, civil right. Wonderful. I think Mahatma Gandhiji also, I think he, of course, background from Hindu, but he respects all religions. So India's constitution itself, based on secular, because this nation, multi-religious nation, so the right sort of concept is secular. Secular is respect all religions. In the West, some people feel secular means a little bit sort of distance, not only distance, but some negative towards religion. I think that people, they're mixing the atheism and secular. Atheism is something anti-God. Secular, no particular religion, but respect all religion, admire all religions. So I think Mahatma Gandhiji and those Indian leaders, you see, they adopt this country's constitution based on secular. Like that. So then I learned, oh yes, now the conflict in the name of religion is no basis. In fact, harmony among different religious traditions, we have very, very strong base. We have common practice, we have common aim, serving people, serving humanity, And some Muslim, my friend, they say, genuine practitioner of Islam should sort of take care, whole world, because whole world created by Allah. So long we love Allah, so we must love entire Allah's creations. So it's the people who seriously, sincerely follow their teaching, their spirituality, and all have same potential. Then, of course, when we say that, immediately people say, there are big differences. Then my answer is, yes, in philosophical field there's big differences. Within Buddhist, in philosophical field, big differences. Because of different philosophical views within Buddhism, 4 schools of thought. Like that. So therefore, that's necessary among the people, different mental disposition. So therefore, we need different philosophical views in order to strengthen their firm belief or commitment about practice of love, compassion, forgiveness, these things. So different philosophy is highly necessary. All these different philosophies, aim is same, purpose is same, promoting the practice of love. So therefore, this is simply different method, but same goal, same saruda, and same potential. So therefore, I fully committed promotion of religious harmony. The other day, I think Guwahati, I mentioned one time, I was in Australia. The person who introduced me at my talk, one Christian minister, he totally committed about taking care about homeless people, free kitchen. I also participated. He saw also distribution like that. Wonderful. So when he described me, he introduced me, he described good Christian. So and then when my talk started, I call him good Buddhist. So you see, it's the same practice. So he considered me as a good Christian. So equally, I have sufficient reason to call him as a good Buddhist. That. So therefore, I fully committed promotion of religious harmony. Now, this is not just idealistic view. This country, India, over, I think, 2,000 years, almost 3,000 years, this continent, multi-religious humanity. So therefore, the people who born this country from childhood, they have this view, there are several religions, several truths. So India is living example. All different religious traditions live together with mutual respect, and in some cases, mutual learning. So since this huge country, now today, I think India is most populated democratic country. You see, this country, multi-religious nation, and a very harmonious tradition among the different religious traditions there. So this is example to the rest of the world. So Indians should feel proud of that. And then should make significant contribution for outside the world. I often used to telling Indian community in London, in New York, occasionally when I met, you see, you should make contribution the spirit of religious harmony. Firstly, wherever Indian community, bigger Indian community there, you should organize some also the religious sort of significant days. You see, come. Muslim, Hindus, Jains, and Sikhs, and different people come together and invite local non-Indians. Then gradually, you see, you can promote the India spirit. Different religious faith live together, respect each other. So now India's 1,000-year-old tradition of religious harmony is not only India's treasure, but should be now world treasure, should propagate or should share with the rest of the world. So I'm extremely happy. Then perhaps, since you see, very, very eager my visit here. My visit, you see, now nearly 55 years since I came to India. This is the first time. So perhaps I think these people quite wise. Let him get more experiences. And after he got sort of a lot of experience and become mature, then invite here. So now, person, a Buddhist monk, I think, as you mentioned, 6-7 years already, then start learning the Buddhist sort of what's the Buddhist lesson. Our tradition, like a Nalanda tradition, firstly we memorize the root text. So I also start at age, I think 6-7. I then start memorizing these shlokas of root text. Very difficult. No single word, no single sort of sentence I understand. And on top of that, I was very, very lazy student, lazy boy. So mainly out of fear, my tutor, then I compelled to sort of study. So then, eventually, commentary about these texts, again by Indian masters. Then we get explanation from our teacher. Then once you got some rough sort of understanding, then through debate, logical way, epistemology, dialectical way, debate. So through that way, I think text, at least, 30-40 texts we have to study. And duration, about 20 years. In order to become top scholar, 30 years study. So, myself also, you see, this person also, he chose freedom. He disrobed. So he also used to study. So we all, you see, study the similar way, memorize the root text, then get explanation like that. So it is quite really, it is very serious and a very difficult subject, right? Difficult lesson, So all this has come from India, Nalanda tradition. This 8th century, although at that time, see, China, already Buddhism very much flourished. So it is easier to bring Buddhism from China. But then, 7th century and 8th century, Tibetan emperor, although they have very close link, family level, they marry some Chinese princess, so very close link. But as far as Buddhism is concerned, they prefer must take directly from India. So 8th century, but the 7th century, then you see young Tibetans sent to India, study. And also you see Tibetan script also then something like modernized. Then some people say, innovated. Some say something like modernized, further improvement, like that. Then 8th century, Tibetan emperor, I think his mother, one Chinese sort of princess, something like that. But he then invited Shantarakshita, great master, great philosopher of Nalanda. He invited Shantarakshita to Tibet. So, Tibetan Buddhist tradition, you see, was the original Nalanda tradition. Some Western scholars, you see, describe Tibetan Buddhism as Lamaism. That's out of ignorance. Then also, I think half blame to Tibetan themselves. I think at Tibetan popular level, they don't care about knowledge, but just faith. Then those individual Lama, reincarnated person, high throne, they consider very high. Wow. They do not know what's real knowledge. So, those foreign visitors, and they saw in the society, high Lama, that people consider very, very sacred. So, they call Lamaism. Some of these Lamas, no need to follow of Vinaya rules, wife, drink, like that. So that called Lamaism, not actual Buddha Dharma. That's totally mistake. I'm Tibetan. I think I'm perhaps one of the higher Lama, reincarnated Lama. I'm very, very critical about our own the negative tradition. I think we little bit neglected the real quality. People don't care about the real quality which Buddha stated. We just look outside high throne and big name. Actually, one Abdul Lama expressed ancient Indian teachers and Tibetan teachers, their name very short, but their knowledge very long. Then he mentioned, now these days, there I think two centuries ago, either 1 century ago, I think, 1 or 2 centuries ago, he mentioned, nowadays, Tibetan Lama, very long name, very short knowledge. That's actually happened that. So my name, for example, Jizun Jambang Ngawa Losan Yishi Tenzi Gyazo, like that. I'm trying to catch up. My long name also is to try to increase my knowledge also a little bit longer. So then I can argue that person, you see, who called Tibetan Lama, long name, short knowledge. So then I can argue with him, this is not true. But not easy, difficult. But I have another sort of advantage. Now modern science. So all past Tibetan Lama, you see no opportunity to contact with scientists. Of course, many, I think 2-3 centuries ago, you see no modern science. Now last few centuries, the science developed. So my time, particularly after come to India, I had very good opportunity meeting with the scientists. Now last over 30 years, I had, I think, almost annually meeting with scientists. Serious discussion for 5 days. Serious discussion. Not only myself, now Tibetan Buddhist institution. Now, I think last year, we formally decided our our monastic curriculum should include science subject. So we already started like that. A final examination also should include the science subject like that. So last 30 years, our effort really bring immense benefit to both sides, modern science, modern scientists, and we Tibetan Buddhists. Immense benefit. Mainly in the particle field, the modern science, their knowledge highly developed, highly advanced. The knowledge about mind, emotion is concerned, Buddhist psychology highly developed. So combine these two things, then our knowledge becomes more fuller. If only sort of study about Buddhist psychology without science, without knowledge of science, a little bit limited. And the scientist, without knowledge about these inner science, half. So combine these two things are extremely useful. So we already set up one sort of foundation or institution, Mind and Life Institution. Now I think almost 30 years. So that institution really carries seriously lessons or discussions or seminars in America, in Europe, in Japan. Now in India, in Delhi, with the help of some Delhi universities, we also now carrying this kind of sort of meeting. Now eventually one should take place in Guwahati or Shillong. Okay, like that. So that's just now over 54 years experience. So I want to tell you. Thank you. So you Indian should pay some attention about your ancient knowledge. It's very important. I usually call ancient Indian psychology. The Indian spiritual tradition, where practice of shamatha and vipassana there, naturally, a lot of explanation about emotion, about consciousness there. So that's ancient Indian psychology. And Buddhist psychology also is a part of Indian ancient psychology, like that. So please pay some attention about that. Thank you very much. So I very much appreciate the organizer. You see, you made me, because through your lot of effort, you see, you materialized this meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in today. Your Holiness, we are honored, privileged, and blessed to have had you in our midst today. Ladies and gentlemen, for perhaps the last time, shall we please rise and greet His Holiness and say thank you and farewell. We hope you are blessed with health and a long life and many more memories and journeys to come. Thank you so much, Your Holiness, for coming and blessing our city with your presence. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It's been a wonderful evening with beautiful memories, and a milestone has been made. Thank you.